Hello, now we're going to look at finding the number of solutions to a system of equations, but instead of graphing this time, we're going to look strictly at the equation. And the key ideas for you to remember is that if the slopes are the same, but the y-intercepts are different, then the lines must be parallel. Because just like train tracks, they run right next to each other, equal distance apart, but they will never meet. And remember, a system of equations, the solution to a system of equations is where the lines cross. So if they don't cross, there's no solution. If the slopes are different, then there's one solution. If the slopes are the same and the y-intercepts are the same, then there are an infinite number of solutions because every point on that line would be a solution to both lines. So every point would appear on both lines is a good way to say that. So let's go ahead and take a look at this. How many solutions does a system of equations have? Well, first of all, let's take a look at the slope. Is the slope the same? Yes. Is the y-intercept the same? Yes. So if the slopes are the same, the y-intercepts are the same, then we just know these are infinite solutions. Now, let's look at the next one. Now, the best way to do this is to change these into slope-intercept form. That way, you can compare slope and y-intercept, okay? So we're going to take 6x plus 5y equals -8, and we're going to get y alone. So we're going to subtract 6x from both sides of the equation. That leaves us with 5y is equal to -6x minus 8. We're going to divide by 5 on both sides of the equation in every term. So we've got y is equal to -6/5 x minus 8 over 5. And now we're going to do the same thing for the second equation. We've got -2x plus 10y is equal to -15. We're going to add 2x to both sides of the equation. And we've got 10y is equal to 2x minus 15. Divide by 10, divide by 10, divide by 10. That leaves us with y is equal to, I'm going to reduce this. I know that 2 goes into 2 and 2 goes into 10 as well. So that gives me 1/5 x, and here I know that 5 goes into 15 and 5 goes into 10, so minus 3 halves. I have to think about what that was. So y equals 1/5 x minus 3 halves. So let's go ahead and compare. Are the slopes the same? No. So the slopes, if they're not the same, that means that they're different, meaning there's only one solution. Now let's look at the last one. We're going to do the same thing we did over here. We're going to change each one of these into slope-intercept form. Now what makes it very easy on the first one is that they already have the x and the constant on one side and the y on the other. So all we need to do here is just divide. So we've got y is equal to 1/2 x. I'm going to divide both of these by 2. That gives me 3/5. So that's the first line. Now the second line is a little bit more tricky because basically we have another form of standard form. Everything's on one side of the equal sign. We just want to get the y alone. So don't be afraid of this. If we know we need to get y alone, then we just move everything from the y side. And again, because I want to save room here, I'm just going to subtract 10x and subtract 16. And I'm going to do the same thing over here. Now, if you're just watching me right, you're going to be like, oh, what happened? I don't have enough room to write it over here. So what I know is that I've got -10x minus 16 equals -20y. Divide by -20, everything. So now I've got, and I'm going to work this backwards. I've got y is equal to, no, not negative 1/2. This is a negative divided by a negative, so it's positive. 1/2 x, and then I can divide both of these by 4, so that gives me 4, and negative divided by negative is positive. There we go. 4/5. So I'm looking here, and my slopes are the same. Y-intercepts are different. So here I have no solution. So those are there. Now you've got your turn. Go ahead and do that, and we'll be right back. All right, here are the answers to the now it's your turn. Please make sure that you understood what we're looking at. Again, we're looking at slope, comparing the two slopes. If they're the same, but they have different y-intercepts, then you know the lines are parallel and there's no solution. If the slopes are different, like here was negative 1/4 and negative 7/2, then they have one solution because obviously they cross somewhere. Here the slopes were different, so they have one solution. Again, if you have any questions, please let me know. I'll be glad to help. See you later.